Can I go in front now?
No, I mean, I'm pretty, I get the bill, sign off.
Yeah. Ready? So moved.
You made it.
Call to order the Public Safety Committee meeting, 6 PM. Roll call
Alderperson Michael Schmidt,
here.
Alderperson Jesse Lethnow.
Here.
Alderperson Tony Baker.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Item number 2, Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item number 3, approval of minutes of the November 25th, 2024 Public Safety Committee meeting.
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor? Aye. Item number 4, citizen comments. Hearing none. Item number 5, discuss with possible action monthly police department report to the Public Safety Committee.
Oh, I turn on. Yes. Only one of them. Sure. One each.
Yes. Good evening, everyone.
Hello.
I'm going to just start out with a little synopsis just of 2024. So we have a meeting in December, so just give you a little. What you have in front of you there is a bar graph of just calls for service over the last 3 years for 22, 23, and 24. Just kind of gives you a visual of what, as far as what our agency and the services that we're being requested for is kind of trending. So just kind of gives you a little bit of an idea. We were down in January and February, and in March we made up for it, and then it kind of trended like it did from there. So just a kind of an idea. In 2024, our agency took and responded to 5,254 calls for service. As far as what's notable in that, to date, it's pretty average as far as the past couple of years. I will say though that just in December and then now this year in January alone, we've had a number of emergency detentions, which are situations where we're required to take people into custody to get themselves assistance for some type of crisis that they're having. And those couple of calls that we've had this year have accounted for 26 hours of overtime, just to date, and we're not even through January yet. It's something that myself and the other chiefs are working, being involved with the Dutch County Executive Law Enforcement Committee with the county and social services, and it's something that is on our docket. We're trying to figure out ways to streamline that. The county now does have a crisis worker in-house that will respond to calls, and that's yet to be seen if that's going to be effective or not. But just kind of gives you some of the idea as far as our staff, and especially with Mayville, because we'll have 1 to 2 patrol officers on at a time on weekends and nights. And sometimes these calls for emergency detentions, people in crisis, can last 10 to 15 hours for that officer. And there's not much that we can do about it because we're at the mercy of the hospitals for medical clearance, and we're at the mercy of human services for finding placement, for beds to get these people some assistance. So I'll keep you kind of in tune with that throughout the year. And again, this is something that's not just relative to Mayville. It's a problem nationwide. So going to 2025 so far, just in January alone to date, we're not even through the month, we've been to 277 calls for service. Like I said, our mental health calls and calls for people in crisis are up. Sensitive crimes, et cetera. We also have a number of ICAC investigations, internet crimes against children, that we're already started and conducting for the year. And with that, like I explained, the 26 hours of overtime just today, or just as of today from January 1st. We've done 2 traffic grant deployments this year so far. We rounded up 2024 with traffic grant deployments, and they've been very successful. It's been a positive thing, I think, for the most part. And we've written far more warnings than we have tickets. And it's been a good thing, I think, enforcement-wise for the city. It allows us to focus on that, where other times we're so busy with just calls for service that we don't get to do that. So I think the streets are safer now because of that, and we're going to continue through that. And that grant goes to October. Do you have any questions up to what I just did?
That was the state and county money that was traffic enforcement, like seatbelt and
Yeah,
OWI.
so there's, seatbelt, OWI, and speed
Speed.
are the 3 different grants that we're involved with. Those are state grants, but the county is the one that's managing that, and we're on with them. So that's how it's done for the most part, because we're too small of an agency to take on the grant just as our own. So that's how that's working. And so far it's been very positive. All the officers are scheduled for in-service training upcoming, as well as we have some specialized training. We sign up for the detective and then the drug task force members, which we are actively involved in. They will be attending some training as well. Myself and the lieutenant will be going to the Chiefs Conference coming up here in February for a couple of days. We've also updated our agreement with the Dodge County Sheriff's Department as far as the drug task force goes. We updated some language, and we updated some member requirements for participating in that training. And this is an important thing because in the past, being at the Sheriff's Department as the lead agency, they take care of a lot of things, but we didn't have a lot of say or involvement in kind of the operational side of it. And now with the Dodge County Executive Committee for the Drug Task Force itself, which I'm involved in, we have a lot more input in the daily operations and how things are said and done. And it's been a positive thing. It's been a positive thing for Mayville too, just in our involvement with those investigations. Also currently with our department and our building itself, began working with Genesis IT Services, which our city administrator set up. That's been a good thing. They've been attentive to our thing, to what we need and working forward. But with that said, I just want the council to be aware, and this is nothing new and we're working on it, is that our phone system is in poor condition. There's been a number of instances where I'm trying to have sensitive phone calls about sensitive things with doctors and attorneys and that, and they can't hear me on the phone system. And I end up having to use my cell phone because our desk phones don't work. And I think that we've narrowed it down to getting internet into the building, faster internet or efficient internet. And I think that that's something that from a council standpoint that I would like to be, for you guys to focus on to get that resolved. And it's being worked on every day. And then that also has been affecting our ability to upload video and information to the district attorney's office. There's a new system this year that agencies are using. And we're not the only one having a problem with it, but we're not able to upload these videos and documents and that the way that the district attorney wants it. And that's a direct result of our internet service and the quality of it.
I believe our new IT guy is looking into what can be provided for service with some different vendors.
Yes, yeah, and it's something that the city administrator and I we've been talking about it daily, and it's something it's being worked on, but I just want to stress how important it is for us to have this service in place and get this fixed because it's affecting us daily on our operations. As far as capital improvements, I don't have this listed, but I'll talk about it now. For emergency management, we have all the equipment and stuff ordered for the tornado sirens. It's a 10 to 12 week turnaround as far as getting the stuff here. When it gets here, we will set up a time and a place to get it installed. So that's where we're at. I guess it was ordered 2 weeks ago, so 8 weeks, assuming 10 weeks. I would like it all installed, obviously, before the storm season, but we'll see how that plays out. So anybody have any questions on any of that? And we're awaiting further confirmation on UO for 2025 squad order that also is a CIP or capital improvements. We don't have it ordered yet. We're just on the list to be able to order it. So this is the latest that it's been for us to be able to order something like that. So I'll see Chrissy Gens, who we order our stuff through at the Chiefs Conference next week, get a better thought on that. And then also target date to get that outfitted and set up. We also do our annual policy review and updates for the department, which Lieutenant and I have started through Lexipol and that. And something that I'll say about Lexipol, it's gotten very expensive. We paid $6,500 almost this year for that. We do get a $2,500 reimbursement through the League of Municipalities, but I'm going to meet with a different vendor next week at the Chiefs Conference to maybe get that changed and look into some other options because it's getting out of control. I'm guessing to get a bill for next year to be in the 7,000 something range, and the services that we're getting are no different than what we got 5 years ago. So that's something that we're actually looking at, and as far as our budget goes in that. So that's pretty much my report for tonight. Any questions?
Everything? Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Monthly EMS report to the Public Safety Committee.
Hello. You will get our report like we normally do in February. It's a long time for our stuff to come in from our final billing company for annual reports, so we'll give that to you in February like we normally do. We continue to be very, very busy. We've done a great job staffing the ambulance for the last just under 2 weeks. We've been covering for the village of Thrassa, who had a rig out of service, and they had, of course, a big fire in their area, and then a car fire in the village of Thrassa, and then lots of EMS calls. And we've done an excellent job at staffing our ambulances and covering a very large territory as a result of it. We've also done a really good job recently, and I'll give Devin a shout out for our interfacility transport. So we will also in February hopefully have some numbers to put together to kind of let you know where we're at with that. That's been a really great thing for the city. We, for the first time, got to do a loaded both way ambulance trip. So that worked out quite well, taking somebody in for an emergency, what's deemed an emergency and covered as an emergency, and the ER asking our crew, hey, can you hang out for just a few minutes? We're going to fix this. And rather than waiting to call a long-term service in hours later of that patient being there, them occupying a room, they were very grateful. And we got an email from Aurora Summit expressing their thanks to having that ability, so that, you know, anybody that's in the trucking business, knowing that you have a load both ways is very beneficial. And so that is going well. Staffing numbers are very solid. We picked up another individual that is a current city employee. He's a firefighter, and so that works out well for us as well. He has experience with the city of Beaver Dam. So we did lose one. She moved out of state, so she served the city very well, but she and her family in Connecticut, is that correct?
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire. So I knew it was out east. So again, things are looking good there. Devin is also pushing all of our policy refreshers out. He's sending 5 out a week, is that right?
Yeah, 5 to 7.
5 to 7 a week. So all of our employees are not overwhelmed with the number of policies, and then also getting their feedback to make sure that our policies are current and up to date. So we're working on that. It's going to cover the training center and training.
Yep, so starting February 4th is our first class officially as Mayville EMS Training Center. Very exciting. We had the opportunity to go to Wisconsin EMS last week. Devin and Natalie were up there. Some of us have to stay back, you know, on the ambulance. So they taught, they asked us to teach, and it went over huge. It really gets our name out there to get students in. And there's some changes going on within the curriculum, so we were able to talk to other training centers, technical colleges, et cetera. So it's a good networking thing to do too, so it was a really great opportunity for us. So it'll be our advanced class, which again will be starting February 4th, and it'll run through May. Once they test out, then we'll be right into the next class of EMT. So pretty exciting stuff happening. The paper actually reached out and they want to do an article about training center, so we're pretty excited to get it out there. So, and then training wise for us in February, we're going to be doing critical skills training with Aurora Summit, who is our med control. So we start going into what the doctor learned from the convention with that, just so that we can all stay on top of everything. So
They just finished an EMT basic course, so
Yeah.
students just tested out, so they all passed. Well, all but one
all but
passed.
one pass, and we have one that from Camelsport that's all the way through already. So
Yeah.
it's very exciting. Yep.
Lots of ongoing CPR classes. Any questions you have for us?
I have a question. How's the 4th ambulance working?
It's good. It's very good, and we've needed it a number of times already. We're staffing them all, so it's been a very good thing for us. And if you have an ambulance out of service, we've got that third, so it's been a good thing.
I've been listening to you guys. Are
Yeah,
doing
it's
outstanding.
It's been amazing how many calls we just ran the numbers, and it's been crazy. Very proud of our team. They've done a great job.
And today was a perfect example of where we have Julie and Devin in the office, and we have 2 ambulances. We have 2 different calls going on, and they're able to staff the interfacility, so we're already paying their wages. And so they were able to fit in time to quick do an interfacility in Hartford, literally taking a patient from the hospital across the street, but it has to be done by an ambulance service. So they were able to quick take that call, and so,
Have you guys been impacted by the train in Horicon at all?
yeah, always. Not as severely as they are because we go so many different directions, but yeah, that's definitely been an ongoing problem. Our crew is excellent about communicating with our dispatch center, which I'm pretty proud of as well. And so they do immediately let the dispatchers know, hey, we've got an emergency call going on, or they'll let
You generally find a way around it.
yeah, and so the Horicon officers are also very good about notifying the train that, hey, you need to get out of the way, we've got an emergency coming through. But it does impact us.
Anybody have anything? Thank you, ladies,
Thanks.
for all that you do for us. Item number 5C, monthly fire department report to Public Safety Committee. And I see there's nobody here.
Chief Marks had called me and indicated that he is out of town and his number 2, Judy Forrest, is out on extended leave.
He's so sick.
So he anticipates having a report in February or March.
Thank you. Item number 6, adjournment.
So moved.
All in favor? Aye.
And then we go on to this one.
Call to order the Public Works Committee meeting at 6:15. Please take the roll.
Alderman Bob Smith,
Here.
Alderman Tony Baker,
Here.
Alderman Michael Schmidt.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay. Item number 2, approval of the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any citizen comments today? Public Works. Discuss with possible action, monthly Department of Public Works report to the Public Works Committee. Jack, that would be you.
Good evening. Our monthly report, Digger's Hotline has been pretty busy. We've got a lot of stuff going on with AT&T. We have stuff with Covered Light, and so on and so forth, so it's been pretty busy. Brush pickup is still once a month. We are doing that till April, and then we'll go twice a month with that. So we've had a lot of maintenance lately. Our chipper which is a 2002. We were having some issues with that. We finally put it back together today. We'll see how that goes. We've been having troubles with it overheating and so on and so forth. So we're hoping to get to the bottom of that, and we're going to be testing that this week. So.
Well, back here, bearing door, is that,
That was fixed last year, I do believe. That's fine, but now we've had some overheating problems where when we get too big a load in it, like bigger stuff, it's starting to blow antifreeze over radiator. So.
okay, thanks.
We've been doing a lot of trees, all the old ones. I don't know if you've noticed, we've been dropping some of the dead ones. We took some down by the savings bank. We took a few down in the park that were completely dead. So we'll continue to do that if the weather permits. Snow events, not a lot so far this year. So yeah, knock on wood. We're still working off of last year's salt, believe it or not. So we have not taken any of our salt for this year. So we're in great shape there, and hopefully it stays that way. We've had some issues with a few plow trucks, nothing severe. We've had some hydraulic hoses break, some of the basic stuff that we've been able to do all this stuff in-house. So we've got that. With the weather kind of cooperating now, we're going to do a bunch of cold patching because the cold weather has definitely popped some roads, some pretty big stuff. So you'll see us out there probably next week. So, outside of that, that's any questions?
Anybody?
Did we purchase the new truck yet?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, we, March 3rd, it starts being built. So they're gonna.
Which company?
Uh,
Which company?
Lakeside. Yep, we're staying with the Internationals. That's what we have. So we'll have Lakeside putting it together, and then Burke Trucking will do our salter and hauls and stuff. Any other questions?
All right, thanks, Jack.
Jack.
Item number 4B, the monthly tag center report.
Alright, sorry, my voice is not real good right now, but a lot of people are happy with it, I'm not, but. So we're in a busy time right now with the tanks, it'll be winter, nothing out of the ordinary. But programming, we're doing really well. Dell programming right now, we're at the end of our 2 pickleball leagues and registration starting now for our second session of those, which starts in 2 weeks. We're in our second week of golf league, which lasts 8 weeks, halfway through our women's volleyball league. We have early morning pickup basketball, morning spinning classes, yoga 2 nights a week at the pavilion. We're in the middle of a walking challenge at the tank center. We ended up having just about 100 people to get involved with that. And as of January, we're at 4,800 miles that the city has walked already, whoever is participating with us. Youth programming, tonight was our last night of kindergarten through first grade basketball. That's where I was when I came here, where I lost my voice. Next Monday, we start our second and third grade classes. Thursday night's tennis class for 3 more weeks. And right after that, we start our sports sampler class. Senior programming, we card playing, puzzles, and we do 3 silver sneaker aquatics classes and 2 silver sneaker fitness classes. And then we picked up a few specialty classes out there. One is meditation and relaxation classes. We have 1 class so far, went over really well. Arts and craft classes, and we have a foot clinic or foot care clinic that rents one of our rooms out there monthly, a few times a month. And that's all going over really well. So that is all of our programming. Anybody questions on any programming?
Sounds like you got a lot of new stuff.
We're trying a lot of different things, and everything's been going really well. So that just shows whether you're an adult, a senior, a kid, they're all looking for stuff to do this time of year. So aquatics has been really busy. Our weekend and no swim open swims have had great numbers. They've averaged anywhere from 85 to 200 swimmers per swim. And we figured out about 75% of those swimmers are all pay as they come. So that's really doing really nice revenue there wise for our pool. Our winter swim lessons start tomorrow night and will be every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday for 8 weeks. And some of those classes, for swim lessons filled up the first day that they were out. So the swim lessons do really well also, so.
Are we hosting any, out-of-town basketball tournaments this year or no?
Nothing that we're doing. So the hard part we have out there right now is we are scheduling or we're programming 3 nights a week out there in the gym. And we have a lot of kids and people come and play basketball. And we use the gym Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday nights where it's pretty much used the whole night. And so Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we don't program anything into the gym just because there's a lot of people, half the people want programming and the other half don't want programming. They want the gym to be able to use whatever they want for their membership. So we got to really watch how much we, how much we program, so.
I'd like to say thanks, John, because I see all the hard work you're putting in, and that's much appreciated.
Oh, a lot of people working hard out there.
Right, so I make sure you relay that to all your staff, that you're doing a great job.
Yeah, they're rocking. I was there, a couple Saturdays at 1 o'clock and you got a line.
Yeah, people waiting in out there, yeah.
So that's good. It was good for me to see too.
Yeah, it is. It is really nice. It's good because we have to have the same amount of lifeguards in there, whether we have one person in that pool, we have an open swim plan, we have one person in there, or 200 people in there, so the more the barrier.
You said 75% is pay as you go.
Yeah.
So
that's really nice. Yeah, $5 a piece. You're talking, we have some $400, $500, $600 days out there.
Does membership look like it's increasing?
Yeah, doing really well with memberships. We're doing really, really well. Yep.
Use has to be up considerably because every time I drive by that parking lot is.
It is, use is way up, yeah. Yep. And then one of the tricky things we have out there is the silver sneaker memberships are not a pay up front. So meaning that they get a membership, but they've got to come out and then every time they swipe their card is when we get paid for it. So we got to make sure we have programming for all the seniors and everything like that to make sure they get in there so they swipe their card every time they come out there. Otherwise, the membership means nothing to us. So, but it's doing really well that way, so. Then maintenance, we had one of the Minerva units go down, last week. The Minerva units, there's 2 of them. They control they're large air exchangers and they control the temperature and the turning over the air in the pool. So they make sure that the temperature of the air in there is 1 or 2 degrees higher than what the water temperature is, so that everything don't fog up, windows don't fog up, and it keeps the turning over of all the chemicals because there's, they have to put in water. And if you ever go in ours compared to other pools around, you don't hardly smell chlorine, you don't smell chemicals in there. You can go to some other ones that's awful. So, but Scott got that back up and going with that one, and then we were having problems with one of the new water heaters that were installed, and I think we got that taken care of now. It's new, so it was all under warranty as far as getting it fixed and getting new parts in there. It was kicking itself out and tripping out. So that now has been running for 2 weeks, and once again, keep it like that, it's going like that. Other than that, with just so many people out there and our equipment is getting older, and so you're always having little fixes on the equipment and just the normal stuff that you have going on, toilets and big pine holders and equipment and stuff like that with more use requires more fixing, but we're keeping on top of it, so. And then last is tomorrow, gonna be gone all day tomorrow over at John Deere. We're invited over for a John Deere Wellness Fair. And they're planning on 1,000 people coming through it. And we got a table over there and we are gonna be going over there and marketing the heck out of the Take Center tomorrow. So.
I have a question. You don't mind?
Well, you're welcome there.
All right, so, one question I had is that when we did the increase for memberships, we had to go into the system and manually do each one. The system seems kind of outdated. Is there a way that we think we should update the
Yes.
software system?
They did not realize when Karen called RecDesk. So RecDesk is the software that's used out there. She called RecDesk up to find out if there's a better way of doing it, and they said that there was not a better way of doing it. So then, so what I meant by what the mayor is talking about here is that with the rate increase out there, every one of the memberships that were out there that fell underneath this is the rate increase. every one of them per our software, which sounds old, but didn't know until they came up to, because they hadn't had a rate increase in, 7 years now. Everyone had to be dropped and then re-sign them up again. And they could not start until after the 15th is when the last monthly withdrawal happens. And then you wait for NSFs, if that happens, so about the 18th or 19th. And then from that point till the first of the year, every one of these, and probably, I'd say 1,000 of them that had to be redone and dropped and then put back in the system as the new rate that was put in. Oh, absolutely, it's outdated and terrible.
Well, I'm just saying, because, our increase is like $8,000 or $9,000 we figured, right? But if we're spending, a bunch of money, $2,000 or $3,000 doing manual entries, what are we actually gaining on this deal?
Yeah.
And do you think there's another software system out there we could go to?
Well, definitely gonna look into something. We gotta get something figured out. Other than something like that there, RecDesk works really well. It's been working out, but it's not saying there's not a lot better system out there.
Yeah, but I think the goal is for the council, I don't want to speak for the council, but if we're gonna do increases on a yearly basis, right? Keep up with inflation, well, does it make sense to do $2,000 or $3,000 worth of time? If we're gonna keep doing this down the road.
Yeah. Absolutely, yep.
I can't believe you can't contact the rec test or rec best.
RecDesk, yeah, they did call RecDesk and contacted them and found out, they told them right out, that's the only way. And RecDesk didn't make anything, so it's not like they were pulling it over us and because they were gonna get extra hours and extra time, this is how we had
They
to
should be
do it.
able to tweak their software so
Yeah,
that you can.
someplace you can go in and just punch in the increase and it should go right down the line, it should be all done and over with in today's, and then what we have for computers nowadays, I agree 100%.
Are they working on it or did they say to go somewhere else?
No, he just said that they couldn't do anything for us.
There's nothing that we can do for how we increase or when we put our stuff in there.
They must have other customers that increase their rates. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, keep working on it, I guess.
So,
How was the nighttime, the 24-hour thing working out with the,
good, everything is getting, everything is busier this time of year, and it always is, but the 24/7 is, I think, pretty consistent, it's the same. There's a few people, a group, I should say, that are in there right at 8 o'clock when the place closes, but after that, you have a couple during the night, that come in and use it, but the ones that need it or want to use it because of their schedule, it's great.
and that thing with dependents getting in with?
That is in February at the council meeting, the actual drawn up will be,
Okay.
introduced then to you guys, 15 to 18-year-old part of it, yep.
All right. I have nothing. Anybody else have any questions for John?
All right, thank you.
Thank you, John. Seem to be improving things out there. They sure needed it. All right. Now we have monthly Parks Department report.
Hello, everybody. So for us, it's obviously not much, I don't plow as much as him, but there's not much snow, obviously, but like he said, we got trimming trees, knocking down trees, but he's been going to pretty much every park, he's cutting and I'm following with the truck and picking up and cutting as much as we possibly can. We're just doing maintenance here and there on our equipment, working on the hockey rink, and I believe it was December, we kind of had a little hiccup where it got warm, and some kids decided to use their skates or something, and found a pretty decent hole in the tarp itself, so then I had to get some like Flex Seal and tape it over, and then we had to wait for it to get cold again, to do layer upon layer upon layer, so that's why it was closed for then a week and a half, 2 weeks or so, whatever it was. But now, since it's been cold for a while, it seems to be a hit. Every time I drive by, there's always either one kid or a few kids there, so that's going well. I got 3 quotes for the Ventrex for my capital improvement project, which some of you have in front of you. We also applied for a grant for the kayak launch that will possibly give us 32 new life jackets. And that is through CETO, some company that's nationwide that they like offering life jackets. They got their brand on it. I put a sign out. And then with that, we're also possibly working on getting a 1-day safety course for kayaking if we get the grant. So that hopefully happens because our life jackets are kind of getting old since I don't think they've been replaced since we got the kayak launch. So that'd be nice for us. Recently, I've been attending the Main Street Mabel meetings. as well as some of our Rotary Club meetings, just to get some insight what's going on. So we have a city representative there. And then really for the rentals, we've been a little slower, but last weekend, or this past Saturday, we had the Beer Fest, obviously, and that was a big hit up there. They had over, I think, 200 people there, so that was good. And then same at the senior center, it's
I
hit or miss.
didn't see it at your fest.
I was not at Beer Fest, no, I was not there. But I talked to Mike, and I helped set up on, was it Friday?
I don't think I seen any of you guys there, actually.
I bought 2 tickets.
From what I understand, it was a pretty good turnout, so that's always good. I wish I was there, but I had stuff going on. Other than that, I've been doing a little bit of research and talking to the DNR about a possible archery range in town here, a public archery range. So there's plenty of grants out there for that, and they're really actually looking for cities to get more public archery courses. So they said there wouldn't be a problem getting grants if need be, if we decide to go that route. So options are there if we want to do that. Really?
That'd be a good thing to have. I have 2 bow hunters that hunt on my property
Yeah.
right now. And
Yeah.
They could use some lessons according to what they're dragging out.
And that is at committee level, yeah.
Yeah, that was nothing, it's just, it got brought up one time and they asked me to do research on that. So I've been doing research during these past few cold weeks and that's where I got so far, so.
Where do you guys pile up the logs from the cut trees? Where don't you?
Behind,
Oh, still over
behind-
on the
behind my
33,
look there, we have
behind
that.
Precision? Run?
Yeah. Yep.
Same place?
Yeah.
What do we do with it? Do you?
It's just there, if you want some, you can have some, I mean,
Oh, I
unless we,
mean, they used to-
unless
they
we
used
burn
to-
it,
Yeah, when people would ask,
yeah.
Public Works, people would say, it's back there if you want some.
Yeah, the bigger logs go there and the brush obviously goes in the burn pile.
Permission to go and get it?
It is locked, yeah, so
Oh, it is
one of us have to come with,
All right.
yeah. Is that correct?
We're, speaking of the burn pit, we used to burn behind the treatment plant. Where are we gonna burn in the future?
Where do we, that's beyond me right now.
Have we thought about it?
Is there an issue with,
Well, just with the new, I'm assuming you're talking about the water treatment plant getting moved back a little farther?
Yeah, they're gonna put a bunch of tanks in the back and they're gonna redo the road and stuff, so I was wondering where,
Mhm.
if we thought about it. Maybe you don't even know about it.
No.
So maybe.
I didn't know.
Yeah, I didn't know how far back they're
I
going
didn't know
there.
if that was gonna be a problem with where the wastewater is gonna be.
Yeah, I thought they talked about only going to like the gravel road,
Well,
so that whole,
probably talk to the administrator about it.
Yeah.
Know the plan.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
other than that, I got, any questions?
Thanks.
Yep.
And thank Fuzzy.
Yeah, I can do that.
All right. 4D, discussion of the 2025 road project. I think we'll let the mayor talk about this, I guess.
The administrator's been working with the engineer on the road project, so I'll let her speak.
So there was $900,000 in the capital improvement project for capital improvements for road projects. And so the mayor would like to see anything with a 4 rating or less. And so you have that on your list. The ones in green would be a part of our base bid. Them projects are for Easy Street, North High Street, Iron Lane, River Drive, and Tower Drive for a total of estimated cost of $854,000. And then we have 3 alternate bids, Ray Lane, Riverview Height, and Springbrook Court. That if the estimates come underneath that $900,000, that we could pick any of them alternates. The base bid, it has to be all of them projects. And then we can possibly add on a couple of the alternates, 1 or 2 maybe. And this will be bid out in spring. We want to get these out as soon as possible, so we can get on better prices the sooner you can get, before they get their projects lined up already.
We used to also have a time schedule that you have to have it done by a certain time, right?
You want that in the bid?
That's how we always used
Okay,
to do it.
well, that will be coming up.
Because otherwise, we don't want to be like the county where all of a sudden we're waiting in the end of October to get asphalt down. Usually we want it done by the end of September.
September.
A lot of times it has to be coordinated with the asphalt company this year for,
Wait, that's part of the bid,
yeah. And
part of the county.
so there's nothing that has come up that would get a higher rating?
There was, when Kunkel did the projections on the amount of money we thought we're gonna get for each road, they also did put in, $150,000 for, soft spots in the road, because we don't really know what's underneath the road.
Right.
So if everything turns out better, we'd have extra $150,000 to spend
Okay.
potentially, but, there's probably gonna be some soft spots.
And this has been coordinated with the public, the water wastewater and their road
Yes.
projects?
Yep, Courtney's been in on the discussion. That's why we're not doing Rita Bush, because of the water main there underneath that street. That's gotta be replaced, and that wasn't on her project. So everything's been coordinated with Courtney and the utilities.
Okay, this is just for discussion, we're not ready for any action yet? Or-
No, it's just for your awareness. These will be going out for bid.
Okay, good. All right, any other comments or discussion about the road projects? I've been getting a few comments from my constituents about River Drive and a couple other places, so this is
It's on the
good.
list, right?
What's that?
On the list.
Good,
It's an expensive one.
yeah. Anyway, all right. Item number 5.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks. Who gets this next?
Down to Alderperson Olson, or no, Newman on finance, sorry.
Good night, Jeff. Good night, Jeff.
I call to order the City of Mayville Finance Committee meeting, January 22nd, 2025, 6:38. Take your roll.
Alderperson Newman,
Here.
Alderperson Smith. Here. Alderperson Olson. Here. We have a quorum.
Number 2, approval of minutes of November 25th, 2024 Finance Committee meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
First by Smith, second by Olson. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Approval of minutes. Citizen comments? See no comments. Go on to section number 4. Discuss with possible action vent track quotes for Parks Department capital improvement plan project.
So you guys have all 3 quotes in front of you that were with the agenda for this one. And I also gave you a little packet of what it is and the benefits of them and what you can all do with them. There's an endless amount of attachments for them, but for right now, we have 4 or 5 attachments that we have to start with. And the reason I'm bringing this to you now is that it's a little 66,000 that we asked for, and we can use all of it for the most part. And what I'm thinking is, or me and Stephanie talked, like, if we can purchase it now, and then, since we didn't borrow yet, and then once the borrowing comes in, replenish that, so the general fund with the capital improvement. So I'm bringing it in front of you to pretty much, or basically get approved to see if you're okay with it. I guess the blessing you can call it. And the one with the star on it is the one I have in mind. Granted, this one is $200 to $300 more expensive than one of them. But if you notice for highlighting parts, this one was able to get an extra piece of equipment.
Sorry, I don't have
It
it.
would be- So this one is 65.7, and then I can.
Oh, no, I'm,
So then,
how much you want to do? We'll get that.
okay,
But, you did go through different, that was my next question.
yeah, I got 3 different quotes from 3 different people. And the renders, that's in Sussex, and then there's one that's from Menominee Falls, so we have 2 dealers that are pretty close to us. The one with the star has an extra piece of equipment. They were managed to give me an $8,000 discount.
Does
So-
that track?
The one with the renders on it.
Oh, there it
Yep.
is.
That one's got $8,000 discount, so I was able to get another piece of equipment that I was really excited for, because it's our baseball groomer, and our 3-wheeler is pretty old. So,
We've done business with them before.
yeah, we get all our like infield mix and clay and
Okay.
chalk from them, so
when we had the golf course, we did use the little.
So, there were just the 3 quotes that wanted you to look at it and see what you thought and go from there.
Would anybody else like to look at these, as long as they're out?
They're all within $400 of each other.
Bob, you got to see him, right?
Yeah, I'm looking right at it.
You have any
What's your
questions, sir?
What's that?
You have any questions?
No, I'd like to know, seeing as how you're gonna use it.
Yep.
Which one do you recommend, the one with the star or the?
The one at the start for sure, yeah, you're getting a better deal all in all, you get another piece of equipment and they're reputable, just because we worked with them. And this is everything I wanted, so it works out great for me.
I've done, I'm an old guy, but when I was in Brookfield, we did a lot of business with Reinders. And Reinders is, they stand behind their service and their equipment. They're probably the top supplier. And so I would say if that's the one you want and it seems reasonable,
Mhm.
I'll go along with that.
Appreciate it.
Is that a motion?
That's a motion.
You beat me to it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We have to vote
All
on.
in favor?
I was gonna, yeah. I was gonna-
Oh, he's taking notes.
No, well, yeah.
We got a guy
Rob
with a
started the
hammer over
motion, and I was running the meetings, so that's a motion, and you're old, is that together?
Yeah,
All right,
and I seconded it.
She seconded it.
and then, all in favor?
There's no
Aye.
flies landing on you, are there?
No, not at all.
Yeah, there are. So now you gotta call for a vote.
So, yeah. Take a roll.
Sure. Alderperson Smith,
Aye.
Alderperson Olson,
Aye.
Alderperson Newman.
Aye,
Motion carries.
thank you,
You're welcome.
thank you. 4B, discuss with possible action the TAG Center passes included with tax bills for levy contributions to the TAG Center deficit. It's gonna be right there.
I thought it was gonna be Stephanie. I'm
Yeah.
wrong.
What's that?
I thought Stephanie was gonna, looking at Stephanie, we
Comment.
heard her talking in and out too, so,
Well, it could be either of us.
if that's okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, you just have to let me know.
I like Stephanie's voice a lot better than yours.
So, either way, I mean, you have to let me know if we, so if you don't know, the passes that you get with your tax bill this year went from 4 passes to 1 pass up to 4 people. Then I know some of the backing behind it, then I know some of the reasons that it actually, why that passes came out, did not have any clue about that when we were doing it, we were just looking at it as when the passes out there, we try to give them away and use them as a marketing tool out there. As I said, didn't realize why that was put in place. So you just have to let me know if you want it to go back to the other way, keep it this way. It's whatever, it does not matter at all. It's not
I think a couple of people raised the issue and called, they're all about it and stuff. And yes, it was a kind of a miscommunication, but yeah, it originally came out because we had a deficit. And I think we had the same mayor at the time. This was a while back, 8 years ago, something like that. And the taxpayers who don't participate at the TAG Center are paying for the deficit through so they should get something for it. So we determined that their cost per resident, per resident family was about $360 at the time for the deficit we were running. And if they couldn't, some of them are elderly, some of them have other. So we were gonna give them something to offset their forced participation in funding the deficit that put us into a 9-year plan. That's how it all came about.
Yeah.
And then as the years went by, we've been watching the finance budget to make sure that the TAG Center stayed out of deficit and stayed healthy in terms of operating costs. And this was so it was a surprise when we saw this, but then we realized that Stephanie and you didn't realize how this came about. And
We thought they were, like I mentioned, my mindset was when we were looking at this, is that it was given to the people in the community to get them in out there to use it, and then maybe buy membership, and we probably never looked at it as that way, or didn't have a clue that that was the reason that it was given like that.
There is some abuse to it the old way, but usually they're given to relatives who lives out of town and come here to visit. I mean, so it is, and I think it still serves the same purpose. It's used as a marketing, it markets our tag center. We're proud of it. We want people to.
Oh, absolutely. If not a dime.
I think we came to a compromise, didn't we, Stephanie?
I think it's still open for discussion. I'd like to address it next year with the budget. One thing, they're a business, so I wanted to look at it as a marketing tool, that when the pass is handed in, they're putting the name on the back at the date and what they're attending the tag center for. That way, we know what's attracting them, what's bringing them in. That way, we know to market that programming at a certain time. I didn't like that we were giving them away in January. January, 13% of your memberships are sold to your fitness centers and your aquatic center. So that's another thing I'd like to see it more, maybe as a letter, beginning of summer, sending out, this is our program coming in, and here's, 3 or 4 of your passes to use as you wish. And that way, we have more of a idea of what's increasing our membership out there, what's the draw, what's bringing them in, what they're interested, what's a new fad that families are looking for, and that gives John a little bit to work with.
Like tomorrow when I go over to John Deere, and the discussion went up, I know I talked over there, I'm taking along, and you can tell me no if you want me not to do it, I'm taking along 5 swim passes, and we have 1,000 people going through there, and we're putting a jar out with people's names, emails, and then we're gonna pull a name out, and a person gets 5 passes to come over and swim. But this is a way for us to get hopefully 200, 300, 400 emails of people all over town that we can email with all this information, and a way to get them out there instead of just having a jar there that says, hey, will you fill your name, I'll put it in, and we have something actually we're giving away to do it. And I know it's probably gonna go to somebody that is from Horicon, Beaver Dam, Juneau, that works at John Deere, wherever it is, but it's a way that we're gonna be able to hopefully get another whole group of, emails and contacts that we can send information out to them. Because honestly, we just gotta get these people in the door. When we get them in the door and we give them a tour of the place, we have so much positive feedback, and most of them, with the pricing we have, we get people to come over. A high percentage of them come back. But the thing is just somebody outside, getting anybody that normally doesn't come in there to come in.
We have a lot of new residents, a lot of turnover in town, and a lot of them aren't aware of it. This program has changed since 12 years ago, quite a bit. Used to be the passes didn't have anybody's name on, and they never expired, so you could leave them, they use them forever. Now,
Yeah, they float around.
we modified it, made it I think 2 years ago, we changed it so they're only good for 1 year.
Yeah, it has the date on them,
Yeah.
24, 25.
And a lot of times, if you have friends or neighbors, you can offer them a pass. That's one thing. You could also, I think it's a good program, but it has to be tweaked. And I think Stephanie's got the right idea. Let's see that it does what it's supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a value in residents being able to give their visiting, somebody's visiting for the holidays, an opportunity to see the tag center too.
Yeah, I would love it that when you get a new water service in town, or somebody comes in, whether it's a condo, a house or something, and they have a new water service, they sign up for a new water service, that they get a packet that gives them a couple passes to come in there.
You'll welcome wagon.
Yeah,
That's
so
right.
like that,
That's
but a
how
few
it used
little
to
things
be.
that we offer in the city.
Welcome, Michael.
Yeah, I would love to see that happen.
I'll put Bob Smith in charge of the welcome wagon.
There you go. Flies and all.
Hey, there you go. You don't forget anything, do you?
But just little things like that can really make a difference, and I'm seeing it out there.
I like
It really
that.
makes a difference.
Right. I think you guys would have come up with something like this all on your own if you understood how this thing originated.
Absolutely, never even thought of it like that. Like I said, anytime I see passes or think of passes out there, or when they've been given away, it's always been as a marketing tool not as a reward for, and that, like, that's what I had said, you know, that was where the mindset came in for the change.
We used to have an open house program too that used to attract some people. And then they used to do the union meeting for metal craft there that used to bring a lot of people in to see what was going on. That's why I brought up those basketball tournaments from,
Yeah.
because that brings in new people to look, oh, yeah, wow.
Yeah, we're just kind of cracked into MEC right now, I'm getting off subject a little bit, but they have physical therapists too down at MEC. And they came out by me to see me about if there's some way we can work out a program that while they're underneath their care, that the people that are underneath there can come out and use it. And then once they're done with their care, you hope that they continue on, just give them a little bit of a discount while they're in their care, you know. But she's also wants to push fitness programs out there. Her name's Callie Berg. And she wants to push fitness programs. So I've been sending her stuff and then trying to get into like actually inside the business there to get, you know, to make the Take Center, I guess, visible out there.
Well, good. There's plenty of marketing people in town and at the library and other places that can come
We
up
got a
with.
lot of really nice businesses in town that if we could get in and work with.
Is there any reason why we should even have that on there, or take no action, or deficit wise, or finance wise, that it needs to be under finance committee? Like, just because of the tax, it was put out in the tax bill.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't wanna, I'm not here to market the Take Center. I think they can do that. I mean, the passes that we gave out.
Next year, I was planning on bringing the resolution forward that was originally adopted, if that was something you had.
I'm thinking, I could shorten to the point we don't need to market the Take Center, the city of Mayville. I mean, we do, but we don't.
I think what this was brought up is that when you passed the budget, I think it was under the assumption that they were gonna get 4 free passes.
Right.
Throughout the city, and that didn't happen, that's why it's on the agenda.
Okay.
And don't forget, a lot of our housing structure, housing is changing quite a bit. We have more renters than ever. And the taxpayers are the landlords and they get a couple of passes. They can pass, I suppose they can pass them out to their tenants if they wanted to. But a lot of the people aren't, that's where the welcome wagon comes in better. When people move new to town, they're not residents paying property taxes.
Yeah, I don't think we give them to landlords, I think we only give them to residents.
Well, how do you determine whether a duplex, the guy who owns a duplex gets?
Could be wrong, but I thought that's the way we
No,
did it. Just give
even
residential.
businesses get them. Yes, anybody who has a tax bill gets them. So those are all things you could look at and change when you know, but they're included with everybody's tax bill.
That's where I wanna go. Which way do you wanna go? And then what? do you
Well,
have?
I think we let Stephanie continue we're gonna leave it the way it is now and then tweak it.
We're going forward. We gotta get rid of that $500,000 deficit. We gotta do it somehow. We gotta get there.
But you'd rather do it at a different time of year.
Well, I'd rather do it like, let bygones for this year, and let's address it next year.
Okay.
See what we wanna do. I think we can definitely send it out at a different time. We can afford that instead of in your tax bills where everybody's got holidays and everything else.
And then it's
And
other
that
things.
way, they're focused
Earlier
on,
in the year,
like,
November, when
yeah.
people are really gonna start going in there and using it.
And the other thing is where we put that. I don't see it as a finance item.
well, it was on finance
Right.
bill levy. Correct. I
It
can.
had to go somewhere.
It should go to the tax, the part correct.
Okay, so we don't.
Yeah.
What can we?
And then make a recommendation to council from there.
So you don't have to take any action
Right.
tonight.
Right.
Awesome. I'm
But
gonna make
it's
a motion.
understood that
I
it's
make a
under,
motion that we take no action on 4B.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Good job.
Thanks
Don.
again.
you want so moved, are you?
So there's a motion.
I'll second.
Okay. I was first. Kim second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No action. Number 5,
I'll make a
Adjournment.
motion to adjourn.
Olson. Second.
You
Newman.
want to second it?
All right. We're done. 6:56. Thank you.
Good night, Jay.
Take care, Jake. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Call the Personnel Committee to order at 6:58. Roll call, please.
Sorry. Catching up on those. Let's see. So
Kevin got you all flustered.
we're good. Back on it. Alderperson Olson,
Here.
Alderperson Newman,
Here.
Alderperson Lehnow.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay. All right. Approval of the minutes from November 25th.
Spelling Eagles.
Can I get a motion?
I make a motion.
Second.
All right. Newman first, Lehnow second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any citizen comments? Seeing none, discuss with possible action. Discussion on the City of Mayville Employee Handbook, Section 3.04, funeral leave, and Section 3.14, vacation.
Ah, good one.
So the vacation was, the annual vacation leave was before. And so when I did the revisions to it, I tried to change the wording to what was clarified at the last meeting. So that's what we have before you with the vacation. And then I did the funeral leave. I wanted to get a lot more done, but I've been busy doing other things. So then read it over, make recommendations. Under the funeral leave, our list was not very inclusive to the way society has changed, and you have to include, like the instance, like step half brothers and domestic partner, and things were added to the list to bring us up to being all inclusive with that. And then also the vacation was like where the bank, after your first year of employment, you're prorated on your vacation, but then after that first year, in that January 1, all of your vacation is dumped into your bank for that year, or accrued, I should say. And then if you leave before the end of the year, then it's prorated and paid back if you used it up and you didn't earn it for that year.
All right, so
That's
this time,
what I put into the revisions. So we'll just continue on with the next sections as we go forward, read them over. Maybe you see something I didn't.
I looked at it, it looked good to me. Now, is this something that needs to move on to council,
No,
or can we approve it tonight?
nope, we're not approving anything. We're gonna keep until we got the whole book done.
Okay,
So
all
we're
right,
gonna keep adding revisions to it.
okay,
And then when we're finally done, then we'll have the attorney review it. Or as we go along, if we don't know, we're not sure of something, we'll have the attorney review it. Also, as we go along, I would have help from the League of Wisconsin Municipalities Insurance now that can help me. I have a resource there. I also have Attorney Carol, who is more than willing to help us, who's a labor attorney. So,
okay.
just getting started here, but every section really needs to be
That is a
updated.
Good start. All right, so this is something that we're gonna be revising in the future when everything else comes into play.
Yep, I'll just continue on now.
All right,
Jury duty and all that.
then, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion. Second.
Okay, adjourned at 7:03. I'll say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, who's next?
Mayor.
Here.
All right. Call the Mayville Special Council meeting order at 7:02. You take roll.
Alderperson Baker.
Here.
Alderperson Smith.
Here.
Alderperson Schmidt.
Here.
Alderperson Lehno.
Here.
Alderperson Newman.
Here.
Alderperson Olson.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right, is there any citizen comments? Seeing none. Discuss with possible action, City of Mayville and Audubon Days use of funds agreement. Should be in your packet. It was brought to our attention that there was, in the agreement itself, there was, it stated that the Audubon Days had to be a 501(c)(4), and they're not a 501(c)(4), they're
501(c)(4).
Oh, that's what the agreement says, right, but they're not a 4, they're actually a 6. They couldn't get the status of a 4. And I don't know if you follow up with the attorney or anything.
Right, I did. And basically a 501(c)(4) and a 501(c)(6) are the same when it comes to being a tax exempt donation. The only time that it would really fall where your donations could be under tax exempt status is if they're a 501(c)(3). And that's your churches, your religious organizations. Whereas your Audubon Days are running more like a chamber. So that's why they couldn't get that status of a 4.
So we need to have the agreement state exactly what the organization is. So we need to change it from a 4 to a 6.
Do we know for a fact that this is what she did?
Yeah, I talked to Attorney Schusler, who
Okay.
handled this for her.
Okay.
And she has her letter of determination from the IRS stating that they're a 501(c)(6).
Okay.
So this is just a language change in an ordinance?
The
It's
agreement,
just, yeah, it's just,
we're changing the agreement from a 4 to a 6.
Does this require notice, 3 days?
No.
Anything like that? Just, okay.
No, we just gotta make sure the document is actually what the intention of the document was, what the council wanted. Council at the time approved a 4, they're actually a 6, so we need to make sure that the agreement is what the council approved, which would be a 6.
And the difference between a 4 and a 6 is?
not much, just to how you're made up, your organization. For tax exempt purposes, there's no difference.
Okay. I make a motion that we change that language from a 4 to a 6.
I'll second that.
All right, there's a motion made by Newman, second by DeBaker. Any more discussion?
I think we have to make sure that the people who proffered this have a receipt, signed a receipt of, acknowledge this.
Draft up a new agreement and
Yeah.
I'll have them sign it and the
Your
mayor
new
sign it,
agreement.
and the clerk.
Right, but we did talk to the chair at Audubon Days about this being Steph had a meeting with her to go over everything. And everything seemed to be in order, so. All right, any more discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 4, closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statute 19.851E. Deliberative negotiation to purchase of public properties, investment public funds, or conducting other specified business. Whenever competitive or bargaining agreement require closed session. The closed session is for the purpose of review of quote for MSA professional services, the construction management services, the water, wastewater treatment plant upgrade project. Is there a motion to go into closed session? Motion by Levino, second by Olson. Any discussion? Take the roll.
Alderperson Lehno. Alderperson Olson.
Here. I mean,
Yea or
yeah.
nay?
All right.
Thank you. Alderperson Newman.
Yay.
Alderperson Schmidt.
Aye.
Alderperson Smith.
Aye.
Alderperson Baker.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Those two
All right, we're in
businesses.
closed session at 7:07.
Okay, let me take everything down, please.